Welcome back to the Predictors Frisky Risky Betting Podcast with your boys, Tyler Z, Willy P. We got a little Thanksgiving, little Turkey Day special today. Tomorrow is the day, Thanksgiving, and we got three big games. And Willy P's got the bets for you. So we're going to talk a little bit about those. We're going to talk a little bit about impact injuries from Week 12. And, of course, we wouldn't forget the pick'em.
Nope.
Wouldn't forget the pick'em, Willy P.
Can't forget it now, Tyler.
Yes, we apologize. We took a little 2-week hiatus for some travel we had to do, but we are back. The boys are back. The boys are feeling good, and it is time to jump right in. So let us start with Willy P's Moneyline spread picks for Week 13. Will, what do you got?
Well, I'm doing giving you a little extra this week because it's obviously Thanksgiving and we have 3 games tomorrow. So it would be silly to not at least give you lines for those because I'm sure everybody will be watching even if you don't play football. That's what I love at least when I'm around extended family that doesn't watch football, they're always like, oh, why would we watch football all day? And then they eat food and like a lot of them start to, have a bloody or whatever. And then like the Cowboys are on. Oh, I know the Cowboys. And it's not even like they know football. They just know the team. And then what do you know? We end up watching football all day. And I'm like, this is exactly what I was waiting for. Because I would much rather do that than sit and visit for 8 hours. But that is neither here nor there. First game of the day, we got the Chicago Bears visiting the Detroit Lions. As if you do watch football, you know the Lions are an absolute wagon. Absolute wagon. They're like minus 500 on the money line. I'll tell you right now, Tyler, dang near everybody is going to be taking the favorites tomorrow in a 3-leg parlay. It's not even plus 200. I'm not going to do it because it seems a little risky, mainly just because of the Cowboys and what their whole quarterback situation is. But the quarterback situation that you don't have to worry about is the Detroit Lions, and that is why they're a 10.5-point favorite against a struggling Caleb Williams and Chicago Bears. That, of course, the Bears are one of the worst teams in the NFL, and mainly because of their front office. But I have some trends that we're going to sneak in that we normally do after the Moneyline spread picks, but they just fit too well for all of these games. The first would be the Bears are on a 5-game losing streak. Guess who's on a worse losing streak, Tyler?
Who's on a worse
losing
streak?
The Detroit Lions. On Thanksgiving Day. The Detroit Lions have not won a Thanksgiving Day game in 7 years, if you can believe that or not. I remember most people last year picked them to beat the Packers. They didn't. Everybody was surprised. Everybody was talking about the moon phases, the waning gibbous, and how the Lions never won.
Yes, the old waning gibbous.
The old waning gibbous got him again. And everybody was like, who is figuring this out? And it was true. Now, who knows if they'll bring that up again this year? I'm curious to see. I didn't even look at what the moon phases was.
What is the moon phase? We have to know.
I couldn't tell you. But I do know the Lions do not win on Thanksgiving Day, unlike the Dallas Cowboys. And the Bears are 11-0 all time versus the Lions in their 18 matchups on Thanksgiving Day. Whoa. This being said, give me the Bears at plus 10.5. I know it sounds crazy, and everybody's going to be like, "What is this?"
The Bears to win, or just the Bears at plus 10.5?
Spread.
Okay.
Not Bears money line. If you want to be a sick in the head person and take Bears money line, all the power to you. You'll pay for your whole Thanksgiving dinner if you do. I'm not telling you they're going to win, but based on how the Lions perform on Thanksgiving these past couple of years, also the narrative around them, how they're the best team in the NFL, which I believe they are, seems a little trappy. Well, Thanksgiving Day trapped. Start your turkey day. Give me the Bears with the points. I love 10. Again, do I tell you
think the NFL? You think the NFL wants to ruin everyone's Thanksgiving like that?
I think they just love seeing the Lions suffer. And the Lions are finally good, like really, really good. And everybody is going to be taking Lions spread tomorrow because the Bears suck and they're on the 5-game winning streak. It's a trap. Just, I swear to God. I'm telling you, man. I do this every year. I bet on the Lions on Thanksgiving. And then I come back to it every Thanksgiving, and I'm like, man, why do I do that? And this year, I'm not doing it. Give me the Bears plus 10.5. You'll thank me later.
Maybe it's just a Willy P curse, and we should all go against. You've been betting on the Lions, so we should go.
I will say, and we'll talk about it later, my impact injuries, a key player for the Lions offense is questionable to go tomorrow. He did not practice very much. It was very, very limited in his practice yesterday. So he's not.
They have a couple. They have a couple of players who are
it's
dealing
not
with
the
some
end all
stuff.
be all. The guy I'm knocking on. I'm going to save it until we get to that segment. But telling you, just feel it in my turkey leg.
Think about it. Feel it in the turkey legs.
I know it seems ludicrous, but that's what they want. They want you to think the logical answer is the right answer. It's not. Bears plus 10.5. Next one, we have the Dallas Cowboys hosting the New York Giants in what is an absolute disappointment of a Thanksgiving Day game. And it's terrible because we have to watch it, and I'm going to watch it. Because probably around this time, I will be dipping into the gravy and potatoes, and we'll need something to help me digest. And it might be Tommy DeVito versus Cooper Rush just slinging a pigskin around.
That's if Tommy DeVito can go.
That's true. They should play Drew Lock. A lot of people were saying, too, that the Cowboys should
get Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, and then Daniel Jones will have a revenge game on Thanksgiving and just ruin Thanksgiving or save Thanksgiving. I was like, that's ridiculous. That being said, the spread is 3.5. I don't like that, but I do like the Cowboys. The Cowboys have won the past 2 years on Thanksgiving. It always seems like they win on Thanksgiving and they win on Christmas just because of just how it is. It's always in Jerry World. They always have the big Salvation Army red kettle thing. I don't know if they're going to have that, whatever, but you always see those guys jumping in it when they score a touchdown. That being said, give me the Cowboys on an alternate spread at minus 2.5. It's minus 154. The odds aren't egregiously awesome, but I don't want to take them on the money line. That's getting close to minus 200 anyway. Give me the Cowboys on an alt at minus 2.5. I think it's going to be who knows what this game is going to be like. But if anything, I don't think it's going to be much of a blowout. But I love the Cowboys at home on Thanksgiving. Even though they've had a terrible year, the Giants have had arguably a worse year. That's just my biggest reasoning. So, and the last time these two played was 2 years ago in 2022, and the Cowboys won 28-20. That doesn't hold much weight, but this is more, again, of a gut feeling as well. But give me the Cowboys on the alt spread at minus 2.5 against the Giants. I think they're going to somehow, some way win that terrible Thanksgiving game. But
like it.
Last one. This one I am diving into the narrative that everyone will be saying and has been saying the whole time. Pretty much ever since Tua and Mike McDaniel and Tyreek Hill all teamed up in Miami, is that the Dolphins cannot play in cold weather games. Guess where they're going tomorrow night? Lambeau Field. It's going to be. I looked up the weather forecast. The high's 31 and snowing. The low is 23. Nice. It's going to be cold. Tyreek Hill's probably going to walk out with no shirt on. He's going to stay nice and tough, and then he's going to have 5 catches for 16 yards. That being said, give me the Packers on the spread at minus 3.5. They've been an absolute wagon. They've been rolling. I love Jordan Love. I love what he's doing. That offense is ridiculous. Josh Jacobs obviously had 3 touchdowns last week. That was huge. The Dolphins are 3-7 in cold weather under Mike McDaniel. Tua's 4-9 in cold weather. Like I said, it's going to be chilly. It's going to be snowing. It's going to be a classic Lambeau night game. It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. Jameis Winston will probably be losing his mind because it'll probably be a night snow game like he played in last Monday Night Football. That being said, the Dolphins are 19th out of 32 in total offense. Same in pass offense and 16th in rush offense. So they're pretty middle of the pack with their offense. So I don't see Tua in that offense having a lot of success. Granted, Jalen Waddle did have finally had a breakout game last game. Like he had 6 catches for 120, which is good to see, but I just don't believe in the Dolphins in cold weather. They're South Beach boys. They love their palm trees and sunshine. They're not going to be having any of that in Lambeau. They're going to see a bunch of drunk Midwesterners crushing Busch Light that could very well be frozen. And it's going to be cold and it's going to be crappy. And the Packers have the 5th best total offense in the league, 11th out of 32 in passing and third out of 32 in rushing. So,
dude, Josh Jacobs is rolling.
Yeah, I just have a hard time believing the Packers are going to blow this game at home in the elements they love. Of course, now I'm saying this, and the Dolphins are somehow going to pull a miracle out of their fins and win this game outright, but they're not going to. So give me the Packers on the spread at minus 3.5 at minus 102. It's almost plus money too, so you can get a little juice out of it. So, those are my 3 Thanksgiving Day games. Now we will go to the three that I like that are on the Sunday slate. And also, I don't know why they're doing a Black Friday game. Probably because
They did that last year too, I think.
I know. I just don't get it. I just give us that game on Sunday because they've been doing like that.
They just want to shove football down your throat every day.
I know it's fine, but we got Maction for that. We got some crappy like Sun Belt Conference football for that. That's what those days are. And we got college basketball now, as we were talking before the show. There's been plenty of great college hoops on, and there was more today. So, anyway, my first one. Chargers at the Falcons. It's dang near a pick'em, which to me is weird because I think we've talked about this a little bit. A lot of, at least in the past couple of shows, about the Seahawks being up and down. The Falcons have turned into the Seahawks, at least in the middle of the season. They don't know who they are anymore.
Yeah, they're definitely a little suspect, dude.
Yeah, it's weird. I think Kirk Cousins' age is kind of catching up, and just that whole team isn't as good as everybody thought. That being said, I'm taking the Chargers on the money as road favorites on the money line, minus 126. I'd get this as soon as you can. I feel like this is going to move the Chargers' way as people will hit them more. The Chargers obviously had a tough loss on Monday Night Football against Lamar Jackson, who is now the best Monday Night Football player in NFL history. But the Chargers are still solid.
Have you seen Lamar Jackson has 3 interceptions, 30? I think he has 30 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and all 3 interceptions he has this year hit his receivers square in the hands of the chest and bounced off of him for the interceptions.
I have seen.
Dude is playing out of his mind right now.
Lamar Jackson might win a back-to-back MVPs, and I still don't think the Ravens are going to go to the Super Bowl. It's crazy.
I want that guy to win a Super Bowl so bad for him.
I do too. Mostly
and Derrick Henry.
Post-game press conference. The amount of press conferences he would have to do, and just no heat, but he is not the most well-spoken person. I love it, dude. I
just want him to be able to be like, everyone shut up.
Yeah,
I did it.
Dude. No, I feel like I would not be upset with Lamar Jackson winning Super Bowl, but it seems like he's kind of like, I don't know. We'll see. But he looks good. That being said, I love the Chargers. They have the 13th best rush offense in the league. Falcons do not. They're near the bottom half of the league in stopping the run. I think that's going to be the big thing with this. Obviously, we know with Jim Harbaugh, he's a very run-first kind of offense, but also it looks like he's kind of letting Herbert use that arm that he has, which I love to see because I love Justin Herbert.
And J.K. Dobbins is injured. He may not play.
He is injured. And even with J.K. Dobbins injured, I think Gus Edwards will still carry that offense a little bit. And I just overall, schematically, I think the Chargers will win this game. So that's why I'm taking them just straight up on the money line. Again, like I said, it's dang near a pick'em. At least when I saw it yesterday, the spread was like 1.5. So I don't think it'll move much past 2.5, 3. But I like the Chargers here, especially on the road, especially after a tough loss on Monday Night Football. They, like you said, they lost J.K. Dobbins, which is big, but they're still a pretty sound football team, and their defense looks solid. And I just can't put my money on the Falcons right now. They're too inconsistent for me. A team that is not inconsistent, a team that has shocked myself. Mainly.
Oh, here we go.
As well as the whole state of Colorado. That is the goddamn Denver. And I will be at the game Monday night. I will be on the sideline, holding up a big parabolic mic. So if you see your boy holding a big piece of plastic, it's me. And they'll be like, hey, I know that guy. He told me to take Broncos minus 5.5. I'm going to go pay off my house. That's right. Give me Broncos minus 5.5. Let's move around. I love Jameis Winston. Love the commitment he has to Jesus Christ and his faith and his faith of thinking he is a good NFL quarterback. He is not. He will be playing the third best defense in the Denver Broncos at home on a Monday Night Football game in a game that is coming off Bo Nix staring a grown man in the face with the craziest eyes I've ever seen. He could be possessed by the devil of slinging pigskin, Tyler. This dude is unbelievable. And I'm not here to
drink the Kool-Aid. Drink it up.
I will. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, Tyler, because the Denver Broncos are 8-3 against the spread this year. So that's why we're drinking the Kool-Aid. I think they're going to keep it rolling. I have no problem. The Browns are not good. Jameis Winston will probably throw for 300-plus yards. That's fine, but they will not win. I'm glad to see Nick Chubb is back. I'm curious to see how the Broncos defend him, but they all have, again, third best defense in the NFL. And I think Bo Nix is gonna, like you said, he's not afraid of anything, and I don't think he's afraid of playing under the lights on ESPN on Monday Night Football, especially when your boy's going to be in attendance. So, who knows? I might even get to dap him up. But either way, give me the Broncos -5.5. Mainly the Browns are just not good, and they're terrible against the rush, against the pass. They are 29th out of 32 in total offense. Their offense can't get anything going. If anything, hate to say this, but I'm not telling you to take it, but it could be a little sneaky little Easter egg that you find in our episode if you actually listen and care about what we say. Give me Jerry Jeudy to score a touchdown. If anything is going to actually happen, it's going to be him to get a little sneaky revenge touchdown, and then he's going to go on Twitter for 5 days and just tweet at the Broncos organization and just trash us, which I'm totally okay with because we're going to beat him anyway. But I'm telling you right now, Jerry Jeudy anytime touchdown is going to happen. It just is for the narrative. But yes, give me Broncos -5.5 against Cleveland Browns on Monday Night Football.
Maybe this will be the game that Cortland Sutton drops the wide open touchdown to win it.
If you didn't know, everyone, Tyler came into this week hating Cortland Sutton. But after what happened to him on Sunday against the Raiders, he hates him with all of his heart. And he hopes his turkey is cold in the grave.
Cortland Sutton lost us 2 bets this year already on days that he should have had 4 receptions, and he had about 9 targets and 2 receptions. And then I play him in fantasy, and he goes off for 2 touchdowns and a massive amount of yards and 29 points in PPR or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And luckily,
best game of the year by far.
Luckily, my boy, Mr. Roll Tide, Derrick Henry, put up 140, and I won by less than a point.
Jeez.
Less than a point. So, Cortland Sutton didn't completely screw me, but I'm still mad about the fact that he went off for that.
Isn't it
trying
wild
to.
Now, Derrick Henry has 140, and that's like, I didn't even realize that he had that many yards. Excuse me. And they're like, oh, he has 140. I was like, why does he feel like he's having a bad game? You know what I mean?
He had no touchdowns.
No, touchdowns. I know. And that's what's funny. Is I was like, oh, he still has 140. Like, that's really good. But I also was like, this is not good for his
And there's only one person you can compare him to this year, and that's Saquon Barkley, who's just eating right now. I mean,
remember when everybody said Saquon was going to be a bust, this, that, the other?
You know who didn't say it?
On the show, we're like, no. He's going to be an absolute dog. He's finally on a good team with a good offensive line. And what do you know?
Look at him
I was up 80 points. No, I was up, I think, like 60-something points. And he came in, and I only ended up winning by 2. Because I didn't even, wasn't even checking fantasy. So I was like, oh, this is in the bag. And then I turned it, and then I checked, and I was like, oh, could have blown that one, boys.
You can't even hate Saquon for that, unlike Cortland Sutton, because Saquon, he just does that. Like, you just got to know that he's probably going to get at least 24, and then anything higher is less like, oh, shit, of course he had a good game. Cortland Sutton, you expect to get 8 points. And then he comes in and does that.
It is wild to see the growth of him and Bo Nix's connection to get on the Broncos so back for a second. They look good. And you can tell that when Bo's like, I need to get it to a guy, it's him. So, can't wait to get you a jersey when we win the Super Bowl. But my last pick of the regular slate, this one seems a little weird, but and we'll see if Brock Purdy plays, but I'm taking the Bills -6.5 on the road, at home against the Niners. It's -120. I normally don't like odds that are in the -120 range. For some reason, to me, they just don't seem like they hit as often. But I just can't get away from the Bills right now and how good they look, and honestly, how bad the Niners look. If they were healthy, they'd be fine. We wouldn't be having this conversation. But one, cannot stay healthy. 2, Christian McCaffrey might be a fraud. And 3, Kyle Shanahan has completely lost control of that offense, mainly because of injury, but also Deebo Samuel is a merchant of getting the ball in his hands and making plays, but he's just not doing that anymore. and I don't know what to do.
Like you said, Christian McCaffrey is doing nothing. Nothing.
I know.
And he owes everyone after being out for 10 games. For 10 games in lying to everyone, so we all picked him first. And, unbelievable.
Well, and then there's that funny, TikTok of him and his, supermodel wife or whatever, and they're, the Wizard of Oz, and everybody's like, oh, where's Christian McCaffrey? We really need you. And it's him just, dressed up as, the Tin Man, and everybody's like it is egregious. And I don't know anything about Achilles tendonitis. Does it take that long to come back from, or were they milking that pretty good?
It can, yeah. I mean, you can have really bad tendonitis, but I'm not mad that he's injured. I mean, I don't want to see anyone injured. I'm mad that they led everyone to believe he wasn't injured, so we all took him, and then he's out for 10 games and then comes back and looks terrible.
Yeah, the Niners should be investigated for collusion because the fact that, one, they didn't say anything, and then, they did the same shit with Jordan Mason. He was like, oh, I knew on Friday. And they were still putting out lines for CMC, and then all of a sudden, 20 minutes before the game, they're gone, and they're like, oh, he's not playing. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? You gave me a anytime touchdown for CMC at, minus 230. And, what? Anyway, it is wild. But because of that, again, the Bills are rolling. Josh Allen it's probably Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, and Josh Allen as the front runners for the MVP. Lamar Jackson's easily the lead horse in that race. But the Bills are a wagon. I can't put money on the Niners. I think 6.5 might be a little much, but the Bills are at home, and if Brock Purdy's not playing, I don't see that Niners offense putting up any points in any fashion. So give me the Bills on the spread. That's my big one for sure. And kind of going into that goes into my impact injury right off the bat. Dalton Kincaid, I've been waiting for him to come back. He's had a decent year as their tight end, but he's got a knee injury. He missed week 11. I saw that from everything I saw, he's still questionable. I don't know if you can add anything to that, but I need Dalton Kincaid to come back, and I don't know. He's listed as a projection for fantasy, but I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much on him. Those when they just label him so broad, it's tough to really know when they're going to return. So you got to kind of watch his practice status. I don't know if you've seen anything on his practice status.
What I saw said he wasn't practicing. So, but then again, they have him listed. Yeah,
that's not a good sign. Obviously,
no, I know, that's funny because he has a projection in fantasy because I have him in 2 teams and he's projected to play. He has a score projection. That's why I'm like, why would he not be practicing? But they're going to say he's going to play by giving him a projection. But.
Yeah, I could see that, but I have a feeling maybe they're going to keep him out. Short week, maybe you give him this and through the next, and then you kind of let him kind of come back after that. So we'll see what happens. But he's a tough one. For my first impact injury, I'm going to go with David Montgomery. I don't know if you saw, he tried to truck a player, tried to truck through a tackle last week, ended up going back to the locker room with his shoulder pads off. After the game, said he was good to go for Thanksgiving, so I think he will play. However, you still have to watch that. If it is an AC joint injury, which judging by the mechanism, it kind of looks like it might be, you can pad it, you can inject it, and he can definitely go. And if it's a contusion, he should be fine. Pad it a little bit, and he'll be good to go. But with it being a short week, they'll probably still want to protect him a little bit, as he is a huge part of that Sonic and Knuckles duo. Which is the first duo in NFL history to have double-digit touchdowns for both players back-to-back seasons. So that's pretty impressive by them. But when you have Jahmyr Gibbs as well, there's no point in injuring David Montgomery even more if you don't have to. So I think he will play. I think he will do okay, but I don't think he's going to I shouldn't say that because then he'll go off for 140. But I think the Lions should be smart with him. So we'll see what they do, but keep a watch out for him.
Yeah, be wary of him. I was looking at him for any time, and he's still like minus 175, but I knew that he was injured. So I was like, that's a little crappy. So be careful when you make your little Thanksgiving touchdown parlay, which I will be doing. He might not be in it. It might be Jahmyr Gibbs instead. I was hoping to put in my second impact injury player in Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he is my second impact injury player because he was a limited participant on practice yesterday. He's dealing with a knee injury as well. So they're saying he's questionable for Thursday. It is now Wednesday. I'm a little worried. I don't have him in any fantasy leagues, but he's had a great year. Love watching that dude play. He's an absolute dog. I don't know if you've seen anything else about him, Tyler. Again, they were very vague on when I was looking at the injury report that I was looking at, but they said he was, yes, like I said, limited in practice and questionable. It sounds like it's probably going to be a game time decision. So that's not your fantasy owner.
Last thing I think it said limited but plans to play.
Well, there you go.
So he was a limited participant in Tuesday's walkthrough practice, but he's planning on playing. I am playing against him in fantasy this week, so I hope that he doesn't do well. But yeah, he does plan to play, and anytime he is on the field, even if he is a little bit limited, he is still one of the best out there. So I would say if he is on the field, you got to put him in your starting lineup.
No, 100%.
There's no way around that.
It was like 2 weeks ago. We had his under on catches, and he had like 9 catches. It was like 6.5 or something. Like, it was a safe number. I was like, oh yeah, he normally doesn't do anything crazy. But I was like, of course, the 1 week we tell people to take the under, he just started feasting. And I was like, oh. But
always how it happens.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But that's why you never take the under. Life's too short to take the under. Yeah. Well, those are my 2 breakout. Who's your last one?
Another we got Gardner Minshew, who fractured his clavicle. It's an impact player because it's their starting QB. It's not an impact player a little bit because it's the Raiders. But they are playing on the Black Friday game. The interesting thing is, they're still trying to figure out who's going to be quarterback. So Aiden O'Connell was on IR for a fractured thumb, but he was practicing and is able to come back this week. So if he feels comfortable, if he's able to grip the ball, if he's able to do what he needs to do to return, then he may play this week. Otherwise, it is Desmond Ritter's season, and by that I mean a season over. So it is. We will see what happens with that. And then the last one I have is Brian Robinson Jr., who has an ankle sprain. And so that's one to watch. Washington's playing Tennessee, so they have, I don't want to say an easy game, but an easier game this week. And obviously they're coming off that weird loss to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think many people expected that. Bad special teams play by Washington over and over again. So they also put their kicker, I think, on IR right after he missed.
Oh, dude, yeah,
after he missed the extra point for his hip. But keep an eye on Brian Robinson this week. He's dealing with that ankle sprain, and Austin Eckler, their other running back, has a concussion. So not good news for the Washington Commanders. So they're gonna have to play around with their scheming a little bit on offense, I think.
I have B-Rob in like 3 leagues because I was like, he's a horse, and he's been great for me this year. But like, if he goes down, I'm like, I also have.
It's playoff push time. It's playoff push time too.
I know. It's like the worst time it could happen. But it's all right. We push on.
We push on. And what do we push into? We push into breakout players, and these are the guys that if Brian Robinson Jr. is down for you, Will, maybe you can grab, maybe you can trade for cheap, and they are going to break out in the end of the season. Listen, early in the season, we knew who they were going to be. They were going to be Jaden Daniels. They were going to be the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, the Malik Neighbors. After that, we get into a little bit further into the season. Brock Bowers starts to show who he is. Brian Thomas Jr., killing it for the Jags. So who do we see now going forward as some new breakout players for, continuing this season on? Who is your first breakout player?
My first one, I don't know if it's 100% sustainable for the rest of the year, but I'm going to, you know me, Tyler. I love trends and I love riding the hot hand. And this dude has arguably the hottest hand for a receiver right now in the NFL. And that is Nick Westbrook-Akine of the Tennessee Titans. He has 6 touchdowns in his last 7 games. That dude is like Rashid Shaheed, but on steroids, it seems like. Because he'll have 2 targets all game, but one of those is for a 60-plus yard bomb. And I bet him last week because I knew he was on a heater. And I was like, 5 touchdowns in 6 games is pretty good. And I was like, you know what, I'll sprinkle it. I'd put like half a unit on it. It was plus 400. And what did he do? 2 catches, 70 yards, touchdown. And I was like, all right, man, let's go. Is Westbrook-Akine going to win you a fantasy championship? Probably not. But if you need a flex guy, if you're hurting and it's getting like me, like I was in week 12, a little by-mageddon, had a lot of guys out, I threw him in. He got me 14 points in half PPR. Like, that's all you need. So I love Westbrook-Akine. I think Will Levis is figuring out a little bit. The thing he has figured out is that he can throw to Westbrook-Akine deep, and he's going to go up and get it for a touchdown. So give me Westbrook-Akine as a nice breakout player. Again, do you start him at wide receiver 1? No. But if you need a flex option, you're hurting in the wide receiver position, or you have some guys out from injury or I love Westbrook-Akine moving forward. He is very touchdown dependent. He's very boom or bust. But right now he's booming, and if you keep catching him on the boom, you're going to be happy.
He was another one I played against this week alongside Mr. Sutton, and he also almost screwed me, but luckily my team came through. But yes, I couldn't agree more. He's been balling out, and definitely someone you can probably a lot of people can still pick up in their leagues. I would say, to be honest,
his roster percentage is like 60%. Ridiculous.
So definitely take a look at that. He, like Will said, he may not win you the league, but he could win you a game that you need to win. With a good couple targets and a touchdown or so. So definitely look into him. My first breakout player, someone who's been slowly cooking over time and really broke out, I feel like this past weekend, is Bucky Irving for Tampa Bay. 12 carries, 87 yards, and a touchdown on top of 6 receptions and 64 yards, 27 points in PPR. This guy was a fourth rounder. No one was touching him, and he has been slowly working his way into that offense. And guess what? He was second on the depth chart in early November behind Rachaad White. Not anymore. You go look at their depth chart, he is number 1. He is their guy, and he has shown why he should be their guy. So if Bucky Irving is not taken in your league, go pick him up immediately. And if he is, well, you were too late. But if you can trade for him for not much, it's probably going to be hard now, as he's been kind of popping off. But something to think about. But Bucky Irving, he not only for now, but next year, he may be someone you want to eye a little bit farther up your draft board.
I have a question for you. I'm in a pickle
questions
right now. I'm on a playoff push. I'm one team. Mind you, it's standard scoring, so it's very touchdown dependent. I have Bucky Irving, Chuba Hubbard, A-Chain, Breece Hall. Who do I trade?
Ooh, that's tough.
Super tough.
I think you may want to try to trade Bucky Irving just because you can get maybe a lot for him right now based on how he's been playing, especially when you have those other guys on your team. Breece Hall is tough. He's got the name. The production
pretty bad
lately. The Jets have been just bad as a whole. I mean, you might be able to get more for Breece Hall and keep Bucky Irving and actually get production out of Bucky Irving and get more for Breece Hall.
Excuse me. Well, and I've been talking to my league and nobody will respond to me. I'm like, dude, I need to get rid of this guy. Give me a wide receiver. Like, I need a wide receiver. I know someone needs a running back. We're about to go to the playoffs. Like,
You're going to have to sell it. You're going to have to say it's time for, Breece Hall. They fired their GM. Breece Hall is ready to get the ball and make a playoff push. Who wants it?
I know, dude. I gotta figure something out. But because I was looking at it and I was like, oh, I'll just play Bucky again this week, and then I'm like, oh shit, I literally don't have room to play all these guys, and
it's a good problem to have.
I'm thinking I'm gonna not play A-Chain. Because, again, play into that narrative like I was talking about earlier, if Dolphins can't play in cold weather.
He also just had a great game. He just had a great game, so it's probably going to dip a little.
That's what I was thinking, and but then again, I don't want to ruin my Thanksgiving because my mom is going to be like, Will, we just had dinner. You should be happy. You're drinking a beer. What's going on? And I'll be like, oh, I didn't play Devon A-Chain. He's going for 30. You know what I mean? And then Thanksgiving's ruined. It's all ruined. I could hit every bet.
It's all ruined. It's all ruined.
But yeah.
I can't wait to text you on Thanksgiving and see what's going on. I'm gonna just wait and just.
It's like literally keeping me up at night. I don't know what to do, and I've consulted our player pages. I've consulted other websites' player pages just to get a second.
I would try to get rid of Breece Hall, honestly, at this point.
I think so.
I would use his name to offload him.
Yeah.
And then I would pick up Cortland Sutton.
I already have him. I have him. My team.
I'm just kidding. I would never pick up Cortland Sutton.
My team's name is Bo's Big Bronco. It's awesome. I have Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton. It's like the best stack you could ever have right now.
I can't even listen to this. We need to move on to your next breakout player.
Anyway,
I can't even listen
my next
to this,
breakout player
to this Bo's Big crap.
His Chiefs. No, come on.
Hey.
I'm getting a phone call and I don't. Sorry. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't know how that went through. So sorry to your ears if it blew your eardrums out from that terrible iPhone default ringtone. Anyway, my next breakout player is Chiefs tight end Noah Gray. Noah Gray has quickly turned into Patrick Mahomes' favorite target, arguably besides DeAndre Hopkins. Noah Gray, I'm saying this now, he only has 8 catches on 9 targets the past 2 games, but he has 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games. So I think Noah Gray has quickly turned into the young and improved Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce seems to only be worrying about his mustache, what he wears pregame, and his terrible girlfriend. So give me Noah Gray. He's been trending up. He's been an absolute red zone feaster for the Chiefs in an offense that who knows where the ball is going in that offense. And honestly, Patrick Mahomes, they've lost 1 game all year, but they just look different this year. And a big reason why is, one, they're thrown to this guy named Noah Gray, and he keeps getting in the end zone. So I'm going to continue to ride the hot hand and give me Noah Gray to continue to be Mahomes' favorite target to end the season. And could be the new Travis Kelce, who knows? But right now, he's looking like it.
Well, like they say, when Travis Kelce's getting double and triple teamed, it leaves some other guys open. You got to do what you got to do. And Noah Gray's there, and Patrick Mahomes is finding him. And I think Travis Kelce is happy to win games, even if he's not the guy doing it, because he just goes home to Swift and, hangs out and does his thing. And good for him. I hate him, but good for him. And so... Hey, if Noah Gray is going to eat up those catches, I'm sure he's happy to. And I think it's a great breakout player. I think it's someone you should watch and maybe someone you should grab and get on your bench just in case your tight end has a bye week or they're playing maybe a tough team against tight ends. You throw him in, little sneak play there, and no one expects it, and then you come out looking like the smartest fantasy player there is. So I like it. My last one is Ladd McConkey, second rounder. Didn't hear too much. He was doing his thing, but you didn't really hear too much about him early in the season. Obviously, the narrative was around Chargers have a new coach. What are they going to do? All of this. And now Ladd McConkey's out here just eating. He has shown that he is a pivotal part of that offense. They're using him as a wide receiver 1. I think the Chargers could use a real wide receiver 1. I think that Ladd McConkey would benefit in more of a wide receiver 2 position, to be honest. I think if you get a guy that has a little bit more focus, Ladd McConkey could, have himself a Cooper Kupp, Puka Nakua type eating situation there. He's getting consistent work, though. Last game, 6 targets, 6 receptions, 83 yards. Guy's got hands. The only little thing I have with Ladd McConkey is he seems to be a little bit injury prone, which worries me. He comes back. He's gritty. He's tough, but he misses chunks of games for injury. I'm not saying he sits out entire games. If he keeps it up, he may be pretty soon. But even if he's not missing entire games, he's missing chunks of games, which obviously eats into his fantasy production. So that makes me a little bit worried. It also eats into, if you bet on him, makes me a little bit worried because we have, and he's won the bet. So I don't hate him like Cortland Sutton, but he's won the bet. But he has come out and then he came back in. That made me super nervous. So if you're betting on Ladd McConkey, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think most Chargers fans coming into the season thought he would be wide receiver 2 behind Quentin Johnson because Quentin Johnson obviously was a phenomenal player at the TCU Horned Frogs when they went to the national championship with Max Duggan as their quarterback and made Max Duggan look like a NFL quarterback. And then Quentin Johnson went to the NFL, and he can't catch a goddamn cold. So I hope I'm sure they will in the offseason, whether they draft a guy because there's a lot of really good wide receivers in this upcoming NFL draft, or if they go get someone in free agency. I think they should do both.
Maybe they pay Jamar Chase, dude.
No way, dude. That'd be crazy. If T. Higgins and Jamar Chase left the Bengals, Joe Burrow would leave the Bengals. Like
someone's gonna have to. Who was it saying? Was it Diggs? I think it was Stephon Diggs saying, Cincinnati was going to have to back up a Brinks truck for Jamar Chase, and now they're going to have to back up 2 because he has been playing out of his mind, and they made a mistake not paying him up front because now he's about to be the number 1 paid wide receiver in the league probably, and maybe Harbaugh's like, we'll do it.
Yeah,
we'll do it,
dude. Could you imagine Herbert throwing to frickin' Jamar Chase? That'd be ridiculous.
And Ladd McConkey's on his rookie contract for another 3 years.
Yeah, I'll say it right now. I don't know who's going to pay Jamar Chase. I don't know. I'll say it right now on the record. Next year he will have a slump year. It's always what happens. Not saying he's going to be absolutely horrendous, but he's not going to be doing what he's doing this year. Look at CeeDee Lamb. Look at all these big
Mark
wide
it down.
receivers.
Willy P's calling it now.
I swear. It always happens.
Mark it down.
He gets the bag and they relax a little bit. Look at Debo. Look at A.J. Brown. Look at
Justin Jefferson's still popping off, and his quarterback.
He is.
Blows.
Justin Jefferson's one of one. Justin Jefferson's a real one. Not saying these other dudes aren't, but they have definitely gotten a little comfortable, So that's all I'm saying.
Deshaun Watson played out of his mind.
Played so good they boot him off the field, dude. That's how you know you're doing great. I love seeing
if it wasn't for his injury, he'd be there.
I love seeing every Browns fan because you'll see, they're starting to come out with projections and mock drafts and stuff, right? And every time they show the Browns taking a quarterback or whatever, or the Browns need to sign a quarterback in free agency, every Browns fan is like, no, keep Jameis. We love Jameis. We'll be bad. We just love Jameis. And I'm like, that's awesome. Talk about a locker room guy. I want the Broncos to get him purely for the locker room. Don't even let him put pads on. Just locker room guy. But,
dude, I mean, hey, I don't know who's worse, them paying Deshaun Watson for him to suck and then get injured, or the Giants to pay Daniel Jones just to cut him. So, and get rid of Saquon Barkley. So I looked
it up the other day.
Tough.
He's made $90 million and only playing I can't say the exact number, but it's somewhere around 50 games. And it's dude, whew.
Well,
the neighbors are so pissed.
Dude, it's rough. It is.
So
they've lost control. Daboll has lost control of that locker room. They're just doing whatever they want at this point. It's bad. It's not even. It's sad because I don't know if it's him or if it's that organization. Because yeah, I mean they've run through coaches, and I'm not saying they've picked the top coaches all the time, but they've run through them, and at some point you have to wonder if it's the coach or if it's the front office, and that's tough. But it's time. Now, for those of you who don't know, we missed the last 2 weeks, which is really sad because I was on a 3-week tear. And I think Will made us miss the last 2 weeks because he wanted me to cool down. He tried to ice me. He tried to ice me, and so we're gonna try to avoid the ice, and we're gonna try to hope that Will made the same mistake in icing the kicker when they miss, and then when they come back they make it. So we're gonna start with Detroit, Chicago. Obviously, you heard earlier, Will is saying take Chicago on the spread, but
Detroit.
Taking the Lions to win it, I would think.
They're breaking the streak. They're due.
Breaking the streak. Yeah. Agreed. I'm going with Detroit, despite the injuries. I am also wondering, do I play, and this is a question for you, do I play Jared Goff or do I play Matt Stafford this weekend?
Who do the Rams play? Rams play the Saints on the road. I feel like a lot of people got a really bad taste in their mouth from when was that, last week or 2 weeks ago, when Jared Goff had that abysmal, I think it was Monday night when he had like 5 interceptions. Was that 2 weeks ago? I think that was 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago.
I'd play Goff.
You'd play Goff on Thanksgiving.
I'd play Goff on Thanksgiving. I would. Just because I think him having 5 interceptions in a game is a bit of an outlier.
Oh, yeah.
An anomaly. For sure. That was just weird.
You just wonder with Goff if his touchdowns get eaten up by the duo, right? Like, does Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery take away, especially with Amon-Ra a little bit injured? Does that play into it?
Well, this will be interesting. I guess this might be a game time decision for you, Tyler, because if Demont is pretty banged up but plays, and for some reason Amon-Ra doesn't, then I would maybe play Stafford. But if Demont doesn't play, and regardless of if Amon-Ra doesn't or not, if Jahmyr Gibbs is RB1 and is the lead horse in that backfield, I love playing Goff because I feel like they're going to do little dump off, which is just easy fantasy points for you. It all depends on David Montgomery. I think if David Montgomery plays and looks good, you're cooked, and I'd play Stafford. But if he doesn't, and it's Jahmyr Gibbs, I'd probably play Goff because
Montgomery's going to play. I just don't know how much. That's the thing.
I don't. And Goff has been so steady this year, but he doesn't. It's not
they're
like
both pretty steady. They're both pretty steady actually. And right now I'll tell you prediction. Now obviously this is prediction, but prediction they got Goff at 15.7 and they got Stafford at 16.0. So they're almost identical. So it's tough.
That's wild. Maybe you just flip a coin. Let old G Dub decide.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, we'll see. Close. I'll have to make that game time decision on Thanksgiving. Hopefully, I remember and I'm not too boozed up by then. But we got Dallas, New York in game 2 here. I'm taking Dallas. Yeah. Obviously, you already talked about it. You're taking Dallas as well. Yeah. At first, I was leaning a little bit towards the Giants because sometimes they're sneaky. But if DeVito has a forearm injury, I'm just going to stay away from that and go towards Dallas. Green Bay, Miami. I took Green Bay, and this was a tough one for me. I know you took Green Bay too. I think this was a tough one for me because of how Miami played last week, and you can see on my sheet here. I crossed them off, went back to them, crossed them off again, went back to them, but ended with Green Bay. So I think Thanksgiving we're going to be rooting for the same teams here. But that is what it is.
I feel really good about taking all chalk tomorrow. But if any team is going to ruin it, it's going to be the Cowboys, again, because that game is just going to be such a dumpster fire. I have no idea. And honestly, if Drew Lock plays, I think the Giants could win.
They could.
He's a bit of a gunslinger. So
they could.
But
it just depends how his vision is. You never know.
To be honest with you, if you want to be a smart gambler, don't even touch this game because it's just going to be that unpredictable. It's like a Tuesday night action game between like Bowling Green and Kent State. Like you don't know what's going to happen. It could go sideways in 2 plays.
I'm gonna go with the other game. I think Miami could somehow figure out how to. I think Tyreek is waiting for a game to break out. He's just kind of been terrible all season. People have taken him in the first 3 picks, and but even with Tua, it's not like he's been just balling out. And I think they're sick of that. We can't play in the cold thing, and that could be the game that screws us. But we're together, so either way, it is what it is. And I'm not playing Tyreek this week, so I don't care if he goes off. But we move to Friday. I don't think we're going to have any difference here. You got to go with Kansas City. The Raiders look, God, they're just terrible. So they don't even know who their quarterback's going to be. So that's that. But we move to Sunday. Here's where things are going to get interesting. I don't think with this first game, but I think we're going to get interesting as we go down the list. Chargers, Atlanta. I'm going Chargers. Mm-hmm. Like you said, Atlanta's just they're the new Seattle, like you said. Yeah. So could they win it? Sure, they could have their game where they come back and play great, but I can't bank on that. Mm-hmm. So Cincinnati, Pittsburgh.
I took the Bengals.
Oh, me too. I thought you were going to take the Steelers. I took Cincinnati.
I don't know why I took the Bengals. I think this is going to be like it always is in the AFC North, just an absolute grinder. I don't know what the total is. I got to look at it, but I'm taking the under. Like, it's going to just be field goal fest, like probably a couple fumbles. Wouldn't be surprised if some weather came in, like the whole nine. I'm taking the Bengals. I think the Steelers are good. I think, one, obviously the snow had a lot to do with their loss against the Browns on Monday night, or Thursday night. But I don't know why.
Current over under is 48.5, and they got the Bengals at -3. So
I'm going with the Bengals because they need to win this game. And I think they will. I just think Joe Burrow will will them to this game. I know the Steelers have a great defense. Their offense looks good with Russell Wilson. But if it gets into a barn burner and they got a match point for point with Joe Burrow, I don't think Russell Wilson can do that. So that's
what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. If Vegas, if you believe in Vegas, if they think it's 48.5, the only way that happens is if Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase go off. So. Yeah. Or T. Higgins or something. So you gotta go with the Bengals. I think on that one. That's tough. Arizona, Minnesota.
Who'd you take?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
I took Arizona.
Damn it, dude! God, I took Arizona too. God damn it. I don't believe in the Vikings anymore. Sam Darnold's good. Justin Jefferson obviously is phenomenal. I just the Cardinals seem due. The Cardinals have lost too many close games. Kyler Murray is playing very well. And I just think the Cardinals are kind of due for one. And I like the Cardinals.
Not that he would play this week, but I did see Daniel Jones is there. I think he's going to go to Minnesota.
Is he actually?
That's the newest news. So we'll see what happens there.
I'm curious.
Not that he'd play this week, but.
I'm curious to see how that contract works out. Like, they're going to pay him a vet minimum. Like, they got it. There's no way.
He doesn't care. He's getting paid anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way they're going to sign him for any money over the vet minimum. That would just be stupid. Like, especially.
I think he's looking there because he said he wants to go to a playoff contender, and I think he could go to a playoff contender in like Baltimore, but you're never going to be the starter unless there's an injury. Whereas here. If Sam Darnold doesn't do his thing, they might switch over to Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
sure. He has that chance to be a starter for them and be a playoff contender. So I think that's probably why he's leaning that way. But in any case, Arizona, we're both going with Arizona. Indy, New England.
I took Indy.
Let's go. We finally got our difference. I'm taking the Pats. I'm going with my squad. In New England. Give me Drake May. Dude. He's been playing.
He looks good.
Indy, you just don't know. And they're not going to have Josh Downs probably. And I'm taking
Anthony Richardson has looked a lot better. I will say that. He looks a lot better. The dude that looks even worse is Jonathan Taylor. which is not what I need because I have him as my RB1 in the league, and I will never draft him again. He's a freaking loser. But I'm taking the Colts. I'm riding the Anthony Richardson hype train. I also have a bet against the Patriots this year, and I think they're at 3 wins. They can win one more, but I can't have them getting on a hot streak late because that would just break my heart. Because the Broncos already covered half the bet and winning over 5.5. So I need the Patriots to win no more than 4 games this year, and we will make money. So we will see.
I got faith in Mayo.
I will say though, if I'm you and any Patriots fan, I'm very happy about Drake May. Like, he looks pretty freaking good. I don't know how long Gerard Mayo will be the head coach, but he right now, Drake May is playing with some confidence, and I love it. I love to see it.
I think the Crafts knew that this year was basically going to be a dumpster fire, and 100%. I think seeing that Gerard Mayo wanted Drake May, and Drake May is playing to that caliber, I think they're happy with what's happening. I think they're going to give Mayo that chance to get a good solid line in front of him, maybe get a couple of weapons, hopefully keep that, get a good defense going. I think they're okay with what's going on. Let's put it that way.
They do look pretty committed. They look committed to the rebuild. Like again, it's not like we've seen Kraft all year just been bitching and moaning like Jerry Jones about how bad their team is. Like, they knew what they were coming into, which is I appreciate, because again, like, people just want to. You can be the New York Jets and like bring in all these guys. It's not working. You don't know what to do. You fire your head coach. You're going to fire your GM. Yada yada yada. Like, you got to. Everybody always wants to give people the sword right away. It's like, you got to let things, like, look at the Broncos. Like, I was not stoked with Sean Payton when he first came in. Obviously, Russell Wilson wasn't his quarterback. It didn't work. But the ownership group stuck with him, and now it's starting to work. So it's like, you just, it's like anything. You need some time. Things got to marinate. And it seems like people love to just jump ship. But
yeah, you have to. I think we can run through a couple of these here because they should be pretty. I think we're going to be on the same page. Seattle Jets. I'm going Seattle.
Yep.
The Jets are just a dumpster
Seahawks
fire
defense
right
is good. They look good. Geno can do enough. Seahawks are actually not that bad.
Yep. Washington, Tennessee. I'm going to go with the Commanders despite their running back injuries right now.
Yep.
I think they bounced back after last week. Houston, Jacksonville. Taking Houston, even if Trevor Lawrence is back this week, which he might be after that shoulder injury. I'm still going to take the Texans there. Rams, Saints, taking the Rams. Saints they're having their own issues. The Rams are starting to put some stuff together with their wide receivers back. Tampa, Carolina. I'm taking Tampa, but Carolina's been playing better. They've been playing better.
I'm taking the Panthers.
Taking the Panthers. I like it.
Taking the Panthers.
I like it.
I don't know why.
Too bad they're not going to be able to stop Bucky Irving. But hey,
I know. I don't know why, but I looked at this game and I was like, I need a wild card this week. I need something to get right, and this is going to be it. This is going to be the game. And I like it. I know freaking Baker's doing this to Tommy DeVito, and I don't care. All right,
a little too aggressively. That was a little aggressive.
It was a little aggressive. Anyway, give me the
now we got two good games here. Baltimore, Philly.
This was tough.
Baltimore has been a little bit suspect in some of these bigger games. They've been up. I don't want to say Baltimore's been up and down, but they have had some losses that are a little surprising. Whereas Philly has started to put it together, mainly on the back of Saquon Barkley. I think we've talked about this. The toughest part for Baltimore is their secondary, and obviously dealing with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They're going to have to do something there. But I think they can stop Saquon. I don't want to say stop, but they can manage. Let's say manage Saquon. I'm going to take the Ravens in this game.
I'm taking the Ravens as well. I'm curious to see how the Eagles do against Derrick Henry, because he does what he does. He's a wrecking ball of a human. We all know that. I'm the same thing. I think the John Harbaugh and that defense will scheme well against Saquon. We all know they're going to get it to him, and I think that's going to be clear as day.
51.5 is the
I think
is
it'll
the
hit
number.
I think it could, for sure.
It's going to be interesting because
It's gonna be a great
51.5 when both teams really rely a lot on their running backs is, usually the game I feel like goes a little bit slower. When it's that, it's a little bit less of a barn burner, but you never know. I mean, they could switch off. I mean, you got Zay Flowers, you got, Rashad Bateman.
Mark Andrews has finally turned a corner.
Deontay Johnson is on Baltimore now if he starts doing his thing. So
it is incredible how they have not used him at all.
But you just never know when he's going to break out is the problem. And
I dropped him this week. I was like, I can't do this anymore. You're taking up space.
Oh, well, then I'm definitely going Baltimore because they're going to go
I went
off
Baltimore
now.
too, but no. I thought Deontay Johnson was going to be like a league winner for the second half of the year. And he has like 6 catches or something. Like, it's something ridiculous, dude. But who knows? They'll figure it out. But yeah, give me the Ravens. And give me the Bills on Sunday Night Football against the Niners.
I got the Bills too.
Yeah, I just can't. The Niners. I don't think the Niners are going to make the playoffs, even if they do get a little healthy. Like, they just have had too much bad luck this year. I don't see them doing anything. Even if they do make it, I don't think they'll get out of the first round. It's just not their year. I think they finally, kind of had some luck catch up to them a little bit, after their last two seasons where they've pretty much been flawless. So
yeah. And then this kind of upsets me because the last game is Denver-Cleveland, and I went back and forth, but ended on Denver.
Good
but
choice.
Now I wish I had ended on Cleveland because then we'd have three. We'd have three. But you know what? It's okay. I'm going to stick with Denver, and we're going to go to a tiebreaker because that's more fun.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. What's the tiebreaker? Pick a game.
Last time I picked a Baltimore game, and we picked first touchdown. So I'm going to have you pick the game this week. Let's have you pick what game you're feeling frisky. Maybe it's a Thanksgiving game, or do you want to go right into Sunday? You let me know. What game do you like here?
I think we should do the Giants-Cowboys because it's an absolute who knows. And instead of first touchdowns, I'm going to propose something to you. Instead of first touchdowns as the initial tiebreaker, we do who is going to throw more interceptions. The Giants quarterback, whether it's Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock, or Cooper Rush. And if for some reason they tie in that, we got to pick a touchdown score out of that game. And I'll tell you who I'm picking right now. Picking Ezekiel Elliott to score a touchdown in that football game. And I will also pick Cooper Rush to throw more interceptions.
Ooh, see, I was going to pick. I'll take the Giants QB to throw more touchdown or throw more interceptions. Whoever that may be. Then I need to pick just in case. Well, okay, so I guess if they both throw the same amount or none, then we have to move to first touchdown. So let me take. Well, I guess the easy one here is I'll take CeeDee Lamb to score. If you're taking Zeke, so give me CD. I'll write that down here, and then let me put Will is taking Zeke, and you just like Zeke because he likes to get into that Salvation Army. That's his thing. But I'm gonna bank that New York Giants QB is throwing more TDs, whoever that ends up being, Locke or DeVito. So
it's gonna be like a perfect game. There's gonna be no turnovers. Like, it's just we're gonna be like motherfuckers. Like,
and they're both. Is it first touchdown?
We can do first or any time. I don't know. Yeah, let's do first.
Well, the problem is it could be, if they both score a touchdown and it's the same, then we're stuck. So let's go anytime, but if they both score, whoever scores first wins it. How about that? Yep. We got like 4 different tiebreakers. Something has to hit.
It's like the college football playoff committee, how they decide the conference winners and who gets the bye. And like, Boise State is now going to get a bye. I'm like again, Boise State is good. Jonty is great. He should be a first round pick, maybe top 15. But they play in the Mountain West. Like, don't get that twisted. Like, come on. Like, yes,
I always go back to if Derrick Henry played in that what would he look like?
Yeah. Like, when everybody's like, what if Travis Hunter played in the SEC? It's like, he'd probably still be a freaking top 5 pick. Like, we don't need to do this. Like, we just don't need to do it. Like, this is a joke. Meanwhile, he's not getting nominated for the best defensive back award, which is just a joke, but that's neither here nor there.
So just to recap, our tiebreaker is first is QB interceptions. If that is the same or none, we go to anytime touchdown. If that is the same, if they both hit or neither hits, we go to, if neither hits, then we're screwed. But if both hit, then we're at the third, which is first. If neither hit, then it wasn't meant to be. And
we get a tie.
That's that.
And it's a tie. And we get the first tie in the Pick'em history, and it'll be terrible, but it'll be a thing. So.
But we may not even get there. That's okay. I like it. I'm going for 4 weeks in a row in Pick'ems. You're going for the break the streak, ice me. I love it. But we move to our last segment, which is your player props, man. Who do you got this week? Who's going off? Who should the people bet on?
I'm going to blue ball people here a lot right now. I'm only giving you player props for the Thanksgiving Day games, and that is purely because you need to subscribe to our newsletter. I will give you many more in the newsletter that you will get on Thanksgiving morning. It'll be a great little treat before you have your cranberry sauce and gravy. But yes, I'm only giving you 3 picks. 1 touchdown score from every Thanksgiving Day game. The rest of the picks that I love will be in the newsletter, so please subscribe to the newsletter because that's how you get bulk of our information, and that's where you make the most money. So, first off, starting off just with that first game, we'll see if Amon-Ra plays. Even if he does play, I'm still taking this bet, and I love the value on it. Give me Jameson Williams to get in the end zone at plus 220. Dude is a very boomer-bust player. You know, he'll have a touchdown, then won't score one for 2 weeks, yada, yada, yada. I love Jameson Williams on the deep ball. So does Jared Goff. It seems like this Thanksgiving Day game is a prime time for him to catch a deep ball and get into the end zone. So give me Jameson Williams at plus 220 to find the end zone. And even if Amon-Ra does play, he is their deep threat. It's not like Amon-Ra's doing go routes all the time. He's their slot merchant. And Jameson Williams is an Alabama boy that you love, and it seems like he's kind of caught fire after getting suspended for a couple games. So
back when Bama was winning championships.
Yeah, I love Jameson Williams to get into the end zone, especially at the value of plus 220. That being said, the most value I have in these picks today, as you can see from my tiebreaker, this is a pure narrative thing. It's for the good of the soul, and it's to make Jerry Jones happy when he's at his Thanksgiving table. That is Ezekiel Elliott to get in the end zone at plus 320. He has 5 touchdowns in his career on Thanksgiving. Granted, I know that was many moons ago, and the Cowboys looked a lot better. But if the Cowboys find a way to move the ball downfield, I think that we will see a little Zeke Elliott TD vulture on like the 2-yard line. And he'll jump in that Salvation Army kettlebell. Everything will be right in the world for one day. So give me Ezekiel Elliott at plus 320 to get into the end zone. And my final pick, I was going to do Romeo Doubs, but it sounds like he might be injured and I might not be playing. Josh Jacobs, I would have done, but after he had a massive week last week going for 3 touchdowns, I couldn't. I would say you can bet on it. Maybe parlay it with.
I'd still bet on it, man. I bet on it,
but like you need to either put a lot of money on it to get anything out of it, or parlay it with one other thing to get some juice out of it. Because he's probably, I think last time I saw he was like minus 160, which he should be. That being said, give me Packers tight end Tucker Kraft to get into the end zone at plus 230. He's scored 6 TDs this season.
Is he frisky? Little frisky,
but he has come on the scene in Green Bay. And Jordan Love loves to get it to him in the red zone. Big body dude. Like I said, he has 6 touchdowns this season. He had one last week against the Niners on only 2 catches, and one of them was a touchdown. So, yes, maybe the volume is not always there, but it does seem like, especially if Romeo Doubs will be hurt, he loves to get the ball in the red zone. Jordan Love's always looking for him. So it just kind of, I don't know why, it just these feel right, and I feel really good about it, which means I'm probably going to go 0 for 3. But that being said, it's there. And when Ezekiel Elliott gets in the end zone and you see him eating a turkey leg post-game when they beat the Giants, you'll thank me, because that might just very well pay for your turkey at plus 320. So yes, those are my player props. And like I said, check the newsletter for the rest of them because I got plenty more coming.
There it is. As he said, make sure you sign up for the newsletter. You can do that on thepredictors.com. There's also plenty of articles, information, player pages, data, stats, everything you want for the NFL there. And Willy P himself is going to be giving you a Thursday Thanksgiving preview on there, so make sure you check that out as well. So you know everything that you need to when you go to your family Thanksgiving. You can look like the man when it comes to the NFL. So make sure you check out thepredictors.com. Follow us on social, and meet us back here next week for another episode of the Predictors Frisky Risky Betting Podcast. We will see you back here next week.
Happy Thanksgiving.